Can you just say evening for everyone?
Evening.
Hello, welcome to the 5-a-side podcast. I almost said 5.5. It's not. We're joined on this glorious Monday evening by Matthew Thompson, who's recovered.
Yep, evening folks.
Ross Stewart, who's wearing green.
Hello all, welcome.
Billy Kirkpatrick, who we can't see as he's developed symptoms of something.
Good evening, everybody.
And Craig Gregor, who's looking dashing as ever.
All right.
All right, indeed. Well, all right. As Queen's Park fans, you know, just stroll into the league championship. Back to League One we go. A good weekend.
I don't know from the start, fair, because I've always been a Queen's Park fan.
Massive Queen's Park fan. You can listen
If you
back.
listen to the first podcast, he does say, "Oh, I love me some Queen's Park."
Yep. A weekend in which Partick Thistle won the Champions League again. Even though they didn't play over the weekend, they still won the Champions League.
Good on them.
It was Cup weekend, but before we get to the Cup, let's just run over the Championship, as there was a full card in that.
Was there? I don't think there was a full card.
There was.
Oh, considering Morton was playing
teams
well in the cup.
teams who could play.
Yes. Sorry. Of teams that could play, there was a full card of them.
Alloa, two games.
Alloa are confirmed relegated.
Thank God.
Thank
no
God,
offense
says
to Alloa
Craig.
fans, but just means that we can't finish bottom.
Goodbye, Alloa. They started strongly against Wraith. They went 1-0 up, but their demise was getting a man sent off and conceding 2 reasonably quick goals after that. And Wraith went away with 3 valuable points to them, but it sent Alloa away down.
Don't know what ex-referee Billy Kirkpatrick has to say about that, but I'm saying no red card. I feel that the keeper made an obvious attempt to get the ball.
Yes, I don't personally. I don't think it's a red card, but I guess it's interpretation, and
Yeah, that's
it
probably
has been interpreted as
the
a.
rule. Is subjective. It's like where you deem the player to have attempted to get the ball.
But you know, let's face it. One decision has not cost Alloa their place in the division. It's
Oh,
been the majority of
100%
games.
No.
1 clean sheet in 25. That's an alarming statistic.
Jesus. Makes Ayer's
Embarrassing.
defence look good.
Craig's talking about Ayer's defence looking good. Well, they didn't look good at the weekend there, conceding 4 to Arbroath. And even though I said earlier on in another podcast that Ayer's defence looked okay, and that maybe or Ayer's attack looked okay and they could score goals, they just need to shore up the defence. Well, certainly what they needed at the weekend there, and not scoring any goals and conceding 4 isn't any way to help your fight to stay in the league.
2 shots in 90 minutes against part-time team that you're fighting for relegation against is not good enough. It's simply put, you have to do better than that. There's no,
Especially
we
when
set out with six recognised centre halves in the team, and we conceded 4 goals.
Especially when
Six recognised defenders, not 6 recognised centre halves.
2 shots
recognised
when
defenders, and we lost
2
4
shots
goals.
when especially your first one's registered within seconds of the game starting.
Yeah, the first one was a free kick from the edge of the box. It looked quite promising when Jonas was powering forward, won a wee free kick at the edge of the box. About 20 yards out, looked promising, get an early goal, fired miles over the bar. And that was the only shot until the 92nd minute for there.
It's really good. It's really good because they had 1 shot inside 90 minutes, and that's what you're looking for. Hopkin will be absolutely ecstatic with that result. And hopefully Ayr can really push on from that.
I'm just going to have to say that Ayr don't score a lot of goals. That
It's free.
seemed to help them last time.
It's 3
I'll
points
say it
avoided
now
for
and
Ayr. That's what they were
hopefully
going for.
that'll help them.
I'm angry right now. I don't know what to say. I thought about it since Saturday afternoon. I thought, what am I actually going to say? I'm raging. I'm honestly, I'm raging right now. You've got 18. I'd have made them walk home after the game. That was the most pathetic 90 minutes I've ever seen from a team. And I've seen San Marino. I've seen San Marino. That was worse. That was bloody worse. You know, let's run through the team here. PJ Morrison pees his pants for the first goal. Out jumped, out thought. Pathetic. Redding. First 4 letters in his surname is Reed. Couldn't read the defence. Dreadful. Ndaba, fuck off. Another below par performance.
I don't know what that means.
Roscoe.
Stone impression.
Roscoe, you'd be a bit of a fucking Roscoe from the Dukes of Hazzard. That big fat
I
sheriff.
was waiting for
Roscoe.
Roscoe there.
I was going to say Roscoe.
Yeah, you could do that, yeah, right. I don't care. I'm so peeved right now. Baird. I mean, he's been that unforgetful. I don't even know who he is. I can't even
He's
remember.
the captain. He's the club captain.
Is
So-
he?
The
Well, he's been
worst
that
club captain we've
uninspiring.
had.
Just to
He's been that
clarify for
uninspiring. I
everyone,
don't even know who he is.
that Billy's just a fan of Ayrshire teams now. He's no longer
You know,
just a Kelly fan.
He's that uninspiring. I don't even know who he was. Houston, we've got a fucking problem. Conceding too many goals. And then the midfield, it was like a fucking dreadful tribute act to a midfield. That's what it was. That's the only way I could describe it.
How many daft phrases do you think we can get Billy
Um,
to say in a minute?
I
And
think we
you
should
know-
stop him.
And Andre right up front. Andre bloody
What about
wrong.
Andre shite? Oh no,
Andre wrong,
you've
yeah.
missed a bet.
No,
there.
that's plenty, Billy.
That's a key
Um,
one for me. You've got a striker who's just signed a new 2-year deal, a young striker who's just signed a new 2-year deal, and you put him in the bench. He's the future striker for the club for the upcoming seasons. Like evidently, whether that be in Championship or League One, go out, let him show why he should be the starting striker. Why we shouldn't be going into the market in summer thinking, right, okay, we need a starting striker. But
I don't have. I'm not opposing any blame to Mark McKenzie because it was like, subbing him on in 35 minutes was like turning up to a house fire after the fire had happened.
Yeah.
The damage was done.
subbing him on
It
once
was
we're 3-0 down,
completely
it
done.
just.
I thought Billy was going to say the classic bolting the gate after the horse had bolted. Even
No, I thought it'd mix it up. But I mean, I've never seen a 90 minutes so spineless, passionless, no fight, no determination. Just
can I
looked as if
just
they were
say
breaking through the motions.
full credit to our broth though,
What
because
to say? Should give a
like
little.
we have like said in previous weeks that they're a good side and they've got a good manager and they've built up a fair head of steam and they're looking to secure themselves safe in the championship for next season, which they'll.
Oh, fair play to both. They deserve the 4-0 win 100%. It was 4-0 going on about 5, 6, 7. Like I've never seen a performance so spineless in my time watching it. I've watched us go out and concede 6 goals against Stranraer at points.
See, in all honesty, I think that's the nail in the coffin. I think done, finished. League One, here we come. Bye bye.
I think it just shows there's no character. Like Jack Baird's a team captain, but there's no characters in that dressing room. There's no
I honestly didn't
captains,
know he
there's
was
no
the
leaders.
captain. I'm not just saying that for for saying its sake. I genuinely did not know he was the captain.
But there is a
I've never
point
heard
where
of him before.
You're missing your Stephen Bells, your Jamie Adams, your Nicky Devlins, your players that were actually
Just somebody
leaders, your characters in the dressing
somebody
room.
at the
A bit of
back,
grunt,
always
a bit of
somebody in
grunt.
midfield, somebody that's just a hard bastard. Somebody that takes no shit.
Yep.
He'll kick
He's
his
not
own
af-
granny if he has to. That's somebody
he's
you want.
not afraid that if he's not performing his best, if his team's not performing best, he'll tell them. He'll tell them as it is.
Well,
But
You know,
there's not. There's nothing in that.
All this fucking mollycoddling. It was shit. That's what should be said.
yes,
It was shit.
it was shit. End of. Another game, Dunfermline going out 3-1 winners over Queen of the South.
Good
That was a
win.
good game. I enjoyed that game. It was a good
It
game.
was a good game.
Just to clarify, for the first game, the Wraith game, I forgot to mention that Wraith had secured himself a playoff spot.
They have. Congratulations to them.
Good for them.
Good
Yeah,
on them.
hope they go fuck themselves.
To be fair,
Yeah.
I think their last result all but secured them it. So
But now they have a fixture.
yes,
It was a big win in Dunfermline for Dunfermline to try and secure their playoff spot. Puts them 2 points ahead of Inverness, although
hmm
Inverness do have a game in hand. They are playing tomorrow, I believe.
You
And
could
then
probably do with them winning it. Wait, who are they playing again?
I
young
believe they're
Dundee.
playing Dundee,
I
so
know, is it Hearts that are playing Morton?
yeah, Hearts are playing Morton. Morton, the team that are fighting for to avoid this ninth place against their two of their games are against relegated or Alloa and league winners Hearts, the two teams that have already confirmed their position.
Mm.
young
that's
Ewan
good.
Henderson getting his first goal for Dunfermline as well in the 91st minute.
You know, until today, I didn't actually realise that the game finished 3-1. I was under the impression that when I looked at my phone last, it was 1-0 Dunfermline. That was about the 80th minute, and
Mhm.
I just realised I never checked it again until today, and I was like,
I seen it
how
was
did it finish 3-1?
2-1, and then I seen on Twitter later on someone posted the video of Ewan Henderson's goal, and that's how I knew that it was then 3-1. We'll move on to the Scottish Cup, and it started on Friday night as Inverness tried their best to take St Mirren all the way, but St Mirren did get a final goal in the last minute of the game, pretty much, to secure their next round spot. Elsewhere, Motherwell did get taken all the way by Morton, in which they had to go to penalties, and
They would have thought they'd won it when they'd scored in the 121st minute, only for Motherwell to equalise and Morton to equalise in the 123rd minute.
it was a good goal as well from Stephen O'Donnell. Well struck from quite a distance out. Maybe you'd be asking the defence to do better, but it's late. It's very late on. Maybe it's just a lapse of concentration for a second, but literally like 2 minutes later, they take it up and they score straight away, which is embarrassing for Motherwell, to be honest.
One thing I would like to say though is I need to pull Dewar up because I think it's a bit embarrassing he couldn't get this result right for this game.
Yep.
That's all I want to say.
You know what? I tried my best out there, but it's been a poor
Yeah.
week by
Sometimes
me.
it's not good enough.
And Dundee United, they scraped past Forfar as well on Friday night,
That was an awful game.
That was the worst game of the weekend
That
by a
was
country mile.
dreadful.
and that's why
Yeah,
we're
that's
not
really
talking
cool.
about it. We'll just mention the result. Emphatic win for Kilmornick at home to Montrose, send themselves through to the next round. Aberdeen going all the way with Livingston, which I think it was predicted to be a close one by everyone, to be honest. And it really was a close one. Both teams scoring in the extra time as well in that one.
And
And
that one, Emmanuel Thomas played well, and he ruined that for me when he crumbled to the ground
yeah,
as if he was made of paper.
he played very well in the
Clement
first
did.
half.
Instead of being a jet.
I've said before that he's got a stupid nickname, and well, he deserves his nickname even less now after that
No.
display in extra
just
time.
Paper plane, that's what I'm going to call him.
Paper plane.
Once
And-
it got to penalties in that game, it was quite a contrast. Aberdeen went for the nice, cool, calm, and
Just roll every penalty into the
rolling
net.
it in,
Mm-hmm.
and Strea just kind of didn't do anything. But all Livingston's penalties were like hit it as hard as you can, and just hope the keeper doesn't save it.
Yep.
That's mathematic.
And the other Saturday game, St Johnstone had a fairly easy time out against Clyde, which was expected, to be honest.
Tough team that Clyde though.
Two going on 22, to be quite honest. But
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there was just one game on the Sunday, wasn't
There
there?
was just one game on the Sunday. Started mid-afternoon, and it was down in Stranraer, the lovely village of Stranraer, town if you want to call it. And Hibernian eventual 4-0 winners, but I
Could you
think
be about 10?
I think a few of us were watching that one at the time because it was on the TV. It was on terrestrial TV, and oh my god, like I said about a million times, this game's absolutely shite. Until I was like, I'm gonna go for a shower, and I'll come back, and it'll still be 0-0, and they scored as I went for my shower. So, it did finish 4-0 actually eventually, which is well expected really. Stranraer are part time. They're League Two. They're very congested fixture wise,
Mhm.
but they gave them a good game for the first half hour or so, and then for like the first 15-20 minutes after half time as well, they were.
I think it'd have been difficult for them to keep it up against a team that's so good attacking wise and so quick.
Mhm.
Good
Well,
bit of
Hibs had so many attacking players on the pitch to start the game, or so many players that are good at scoring goals and setting up goals. They just couldn't score goals or set up goals for the first half hour or so.
that all the
Um,
games.
the first goal, Christian Doige, was quite nicely taken. Spins round and hits it on the volley, and well, it's on target, and you don't really save them from that close in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even with a class goalkeeper like Greg Fleming.
He's only good for one thing, and that's saving penalties, to be fair. So
But he did not save
No,
the penalty.
he did not save the penalty.
He
but
did not. That was
usually
the
didn't save
last
penalties.
goal.
Didn't mean anything anyway.
Didn't mean
No-
anything.
No point
Exactly.
wasting your pen saves.
Drew's favourite player. He got himself in the score sheet after we
Missing an absolute
after we bashed him in the first half for missing about 8 sitters, I think.
He must have had about 2 or 3 chances
Open hits almost.
that I could have scored, and I'm for viewers watching. I'm hardly a specimen of fitness.
He's a bit on the heavier set side as our Drew.
Winter training.
He's winter training. Yeah. Martin Boyle grabbing himself a cool double. Late on in the last 20 minutes of the game. One was the penalty.
Yeah, Hibs through to the next round, which is being played this weekend.
Yes.
So quick.
So
Yeah,
quick.
It's not a lot of turnaround time.
No, it's not. Especially with games, league fixtures midweek as well. And that's the quarterfinals we're on to now. It's gone so quickly since we started. We started it what feels kind of quite late, and we're so quickly on to quarterfinals.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yep. Every team left in the competition is a Premiership team. A current Premiership team,
Yeah.
yes.
For the first time since, was it 1987 or something like that? I remember reading a stat about it. It was mad.
Hibs go on to play Motherwell, who had a tough time, so it depends if they could get their backs up and get themselves up for this game against Hibs. It's a big game. You're looking at potential to get into a semi-final for the Scottish Cup. I know Motherwell have been there quite a few times over recent years, but it's another opportunity to get there and line up a semi-final and potentially a final. So they should be up for it. I can't see any of the teams in the draw, to be honest, not being up for this. I know we've bashed Kelly, but fair play to them getting to the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup.
I'm more than happy if they want to keep a cup run going, keep that schedule busy.
Yep. And well, that's good. That's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be a good game. Kelly St Mirren, I think.
Do you?
No, I think it's going to be the Boar Fest.
Yes.
Nah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good because it's a big game for both teams, so they'll both be fired up for it. And just imagine if those fans allowed at it as well, it'd be even better.
A sellout.
Sell it. Exactly. It'll be a game that both teams will be confident of going out and trying to win.
That's a big
I feel like at this stage of the competition, you have to be confident you're going to go out and try and win.
Well, true, yes, but it's not like Kelly have been drawn against Rangers. Like, that would have been one where they're kind of looking at it and going, oh, fuck.
That's what most teams say.
That's what most teams say, yep. Aberdeen playing Dundee United as well.
That'll be the second Boar Fest of the cup.
Oh,
That will be a Boar Fest.
I think
Yeah,
that
so
could be up there. Is that
The Kelly St Mirren game and the Aberdeen Dundee United game. That should be the two BBC games, the two Borth best
That
games.
is, I believe, that is the
That
two
is the
BBC
two
games.
BBC
It's the
I'm
two
not
BBC
realised.
games. Yeah,
So we're being really, really spoiled.
we've been spoiled with it on the free TV. And finally, Rangers will take on St Johnstone, and Rangers got here by beating Celtic.
I never seen the game. I'm going to just judge this based on statistics and highlights. Rangers got here by committing an act of daylight robbery.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
Daylight robbery.
Celtic had the better chances in the game. They didn't take their chances.
Should have won the game.
And it's another old firm. They should have won the game. Yeah, another.
Really should have won the game.
As a neutral
multiple
and
this
looking at the
season.
stats, looking at the highlights, that was what I took away from it.
I know.
Just
Yeah, like, at the end of the day,
dreadful in
2-0.
front of
2-0, like that's what the result ended up being. But in the second half, Celtic had more than enough chances to put the game to bed,
Oh yeah.
like get back into it and put the game to bed, because Rangers kind of just switched off a little bit in the second half.
I think the first half went almost too well for Rangers. They were strolling in the first half. They just made it look comfortable, and I think they almost
I think
switched
the
off a wee
early
bit in the
goal.
I wouldn't
second
say they were
half.
strolling. I, would
I
say
think
that
the early
first
goal-
half chances were equal.
Yeah, the first half was fairly equal apart from the scoreline.
No
Um,
wonderful
No, I would say
overhead kick, but, yeah.
in terms of possession of the ball and the movement, etc., I think Rangers were far superior to Celtic in the first
So
half.
far
Celtic
superior
had
with
more
their
possession.
45% possession.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
gonna
first
say,
Celtic
that's
had
how you
more
use
shots,
possession, though, isn't it?
and they had the same shots on target in the first half as each
Yeah,
other.
but you have to watch the game to see that.
Yeah, but no,
Rangers
that's no. You said in terms of possession stats,
yeah, in
and
terms
that's
of
the possession
quality
stats.
of possession.
You know
But you said
what?
possession stats.
Celtic were wasteful, especially.
They were.
in the
I'm
middle of
not.
the
I'm not
park.
disagreeing with you on that. But you said in terms of possession,
we're
they had less.
downright awful. Scott Brown is finished. He was downright deplorable. Ryan Kent.
Look, he's only 35. Come on.
Well, Stephen Davis is 35, and look at him. He's scoring overhead kicks.
I think I'll just say that I think
36, but okay.
the early goal. What was it? 10 minutes in,
Yeah.
less than.
About that.
It caught. I think it seemed to catch both teams kind of by surprise. Like, I don't think Rangers expected to score that early, and
It's still settling into the game, I think.
yeah,
It all came from obviously Brown getting sold about 15 yards to the right by Ryan Kent. He literally gets sold so far.
no, I'd
They
put
must
it
have
down
been
to
at the halfway
McGregor.
line.
I'd put it down to Callum McGregor giving the ball away.
Credit where credit is due. I'm giving the credit
Yeah,
to
sure.
Robert Madden
Of
for
course.
playing a tremendous advantage. Leading
I
I'll
still
give
don't
credit
know
to
how Welsh
Stephen
was
Welsh
not
for
booked.
sticking in a class tackle.
Or as some would say, that's a dirty bastard tackle. That.
Look, it's
Yep.
early in the game. You just got you let it go. They
You let
scored.
those go
Well,
at that time, to be honest. Yeah,
doesn't
I'd
matter
agree
now.
with you.
Alright,
Um,
one of the main reasons that Celtic were so wasteful, they've got a striker whose head's not been in it in the last 3-4 months.
it's weird because
Oh,
he pops up with performances every few games, and you're like, oh, I think I've said it before. Like he was grabbing a couple of goals every game and stuff, and you're like, oh, is he actually like picking up some run of form? And then he has games like that, and it's just like, what are you doing? Because I mean, the last game we played against Livingston, he had a good game, albeit he didn't score, but
Maybe he played well though.
he played very
Yeah.
well against them. So
It's all fair enough when he's playing well against the Livingstons, the Dundee United, whatever. Like everyone apart from Rangers, basically. But once it gets to the big games, I don't think I've seen him put in a good
Well,
performance in a big
that's
game this
that's
season.
Not-
five
this season,
old
no.
firms that Rangers
Like
have
even the
not lost
European
in.
games as well for him, he's not put a good performance in for me.
But like, I'm not gonna put that down to like, oh, he's not interested. He just wants out the club, because I don't like saying that about any player, to be honest.
To be fair, it
I
does
don't
look
think any
like it.
player has ever really got that sort of mindset during a playing season where you're still competitive. Fair enough in transfer windows to be like, oh, they're trying to force a move and stuff. But if you're talking like middle of the season or at certain points throughout the season, you're not going to be.
Well,
Especially when you can still compete for things as well.
obviously, from a blue perspective, which could be a tad biased, he just didn't look interested. Like, it was
Yeah.
the amount of times he could have ran through between the channels
think-
and just didn't. Like it.
That's
for a
just
guy-
entirely his style of play, though.
Yeah,
It's,
he's not really a channel runner for a lot of
no,
Well, he was a
it-
nothing.
He never. But even in games where he's scored hat tricks before, people have said, "Oh, he didn't look interested today." It's like he just scored a fucking hat trick. Surely
Yeah.
he's fucking interested enough to score 3 goals.
Yeah, there's plenty of strikers. I mean, nobody really had a go.
He doesn't really have a facial expression apart from
Yeah, I mean,
like.
Chris Boyd didn't sprint between the fucking channels, and he scored an awful lot of goals.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean,
think
some players do.
I'll put it down to Celtic have had a poor season, very poor season, and I think Edward's had a poor season as well. And
One
if
thing
the
that-
team's not firing, he's not going to fire. And he was poor yesterday, but also the chance creation, his service wasn't great either. Like I get that he did blunder a couple of like obvious chances and he missed a penalty, but the balls into him weren't fantastic, and the passing in the midfield was woeful at
I
times.
think because I'm actually this might be a tad controversial considering Celtic perhaps arguably played better than Rangers. If they almost played to Rangers' hands, playing too much in the midfield because they don't have the fullbacks to play the way Celtic traditionally used to play with guys like Lustig and Tierney. Like Laxalt is honking and Kenny is equally honking. Like it just playing it through the midfield gave Rangers such an opportunity just to have guys
You're looking
who
at
are better.
what
to just pass the ball a bit.
Celtic made 36 million selling 2 very, very good fullbacks in the past couple of years and reinvested next to nothing. And we're going into that game with 2 lone fullbacks.
Can I ask Ferg and Matt a question?
Sure.
Just Matt, I think.
He's a Queen's Park fan.
Oh yeah,
Queen's
sorry.
Park fan.
But Matt's an Ayr fan.
Yeah, true. Another
See,
one.
you
Okay,
would-
I can
see
just
you in
ask
League
a
One next
general
season then.
question then, right? How much do you think Celtic need to spend in the summer to match Rangers?
I'm
Well,
I'm no expert, but Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, so my answer would be with a good manager, and if we didn't lose too many players, less than 20 million. Because I think
I'd agree.
the core squad of players, a lot of them are good enough.
I think.
But the system they're playing under at the moment obviously hasn't worked. So I think if you get the right coach in to work with these players, I'm assuming we're going to lose Eddie. Talks of losing some of the other players, but they're not helping themselves by playing shite all season. So if we don't
But
lose,
you say we're going to lose Edward, but there's never really been a move materialised yet.
no, but I think we accept. Me personally,
We accept that he's probably going to be away. Yeah, I understand that,
I'm
but
okay with it.
where's this move? People
okay
like, he just wants this move out of the club. Where's the move?
Well, apparently
Where's the
less-
offers?
Leicester and Arsenal are interested in her apparently, but
Well,
He either moves now or moves.
it'd be silly to go to Arsenal now that
in the
they've,
next season for nothing.
Me
Well,
personally, I think it's obviously going to be somewhat of a rebuild. So I would rather take the money we're going to get from in the summer than just let him go on a free. next
unless he signs like a 2-year deal.
I think one of
a new deal.
one of Celtic's biggest problems is the scouting. Like literally,
Yeah.
they've spent. It's not like they haven't spent money this season. They have, and it's just been diddies.
Well,
It's not been in the right places, and it's been loans.
Well,
Like,
I
you
think after the transfer window though in the summer, like other than the fact that I knew, I mean, I didn't think Barkas looked a bad signing when we signed him. For what it's worth, I didn't think Duffy looked that a bad signing when we signed him. I didn't think Laxalt looked a bad signing. Obviously, players have turned out to be a bad signing, but that's why I'm hoping that if we get someone in who is good, that comes with it.
Yeah,
I think it also
100%
falls down
need a
to
director of football in my
if
opinion.
it falls
Yeah.
down to a severe lack of good coaching now and management, because a lot of these players are the same players that we had when Brendan Rodgers was at the club, and they're just completely different players now. After 2 years of
controversially,
Neil Lennon.
also gonna say obviously they've been winning against Rangers when they weren't as good. Rangers are extremely well organised. They pass the ball well, play it well.
Yeah, but you could say that we won against Rangers when they're not as good, but then I could just turn to you and say you've beat Celtic when we're nowhere near as good.
Yeah, but the problem is with Celtic, they've not got better. After Brendan left, they just went straight downhill, which kind of
stagnated.
And it's just the same old players doing the same old.
I'm not
mediocre
against.
things.
I'm not. But I'm not against it being the same old players, as long as they're making developments in their career and developments in the way they're playing. And no one has, because they were being coached and trained by Neil Lennon of all people, and no offense to the man, but John Kennedy's not doing much better at all. He's not like. I think it's just it's too far gone. The rot is sunk too deep from Neil Lennon, and John Kennedy's he's part of it, and he's got to go as well.
What you were saying there would be quite interesting to see how a game would turn out between Brendan's invincible season, which is probably his best season, and the current Rangers team. It would be an even game. I do think Celtic would probably edge it. They had
I don't think they would.
I think we beat them. But obviously, I've got to.
I don't think it would be like the 5-0 as it was back then.
I mean, we've went and done it in Europe. Celtic's team never did it.
Yeah, but we done more. We were better domestically then.
Yeah,
but in terms of Rangers versus Celtic, if both teams are firing, I think Rangers team would have bet Brendan Rodgers' team 100%.
I'm just basing on look at the times that Celtic have been the better team in the Old Firm games this season. It's happened on more than one occasion, but they've just been not able to find the net. Whereas Brendan's team, they didn't struggle to find the net.
No,
they were a free scoring team. They had like the Sinclair that was scoring for fun. Dembele was scoring for fun.
I think how I'd describe Celtic this season at this point, it's dead in the water. They're just. I mean, obviously, there's nothing to play for now, but like they have just looked fucking dead, like asleep at the wheel.
If Rangers do go undefeated this season, with considering defensive records, like
they can't, they've been defeated.
I mean, undefeated in the league, like you can.
Celtic
that record is insane. Like it's going to take years for it to be broken. I can't see any team stopping it. I think Celtic psychologically don't think they can beat Rangers. I think that's one of the big problems. I think that's what cost them yesterday. They actually points played quite well.
I think it's more the case of the players lack confidence to beat a lot of I feel like
I don't think it's just Rangers. I think it's to win games.
I think if you're a team playing with lack of confidence, like you're gonna lack confidence against every team, and then when you come up against the best team, then obviously that's going to magnify it. I don't think it's a Rangers problem per se. I think it's a problem, as Ferg said, deep within the club. In the sense, there's no good style of play that I think we've got where we can break down the better sides.
I think looking at it as well, I don't think anyone can really make any predictions for next season at this point.
We don't know the managers.
I know.
No, well, not just that, but the whole situation in European football that's arisen in the last couple of days that's going to play a huge part in what happens for these teams. Like
that's what I was going to say. It's like it's hard to say how much like they'd have to spend when if this does go, the European Super League goes through, if it's finalised, and if players are given the opportunity to leave in a free, or if found out that it's avoided their contract and all these players that want out of it and they don't want to play in it, there's going to be all these free agents out there that they're going to be looking for new clubs. If these 12 elite clubs are away, they're going to be looking for teams in a place like Scotland where it's not the most glamorous place to play, but you're going for two teams that have got Champions League football and they've got a good background of fans, they've got a good base. It's just whether the clubs are willing to spend a bit of money on the player wages and
so just to
for a season or
just to clarify that what we're talking about is the new agreed between the member clubs European Super League. So it's the so-called Big Six in the English Premier League. So Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and Man United. They're joined by the big three teams in Spain, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. And what you would see as being the big three teams in Italy, in Juventus, Inter Milan and AC Milan. And what's nothing short of embarrassing. That was announced.
Elitist behaviour.
Yeah, which was announced. That was announced last night. Only the day before UEFA were set to announce new proposals for revamped Champions League and Europa League, which have now been
which are
agreed.
both stinking.
Which have now been agreed. I do not like them, but
I don't like them either. But the one thing about the Europa League and the Champions League is you have to earn your place in it. That's it.
but
the key point.
The thing is, the clubs that have joined this Super League were the clubs that were asking for a revamp and a change of the Champions League and Europa League, which have now been changed. So the Champions League will be a 36 club first phase, which will be a
full league.
A league structure with what you play 10 opponents.
Yeah, I don't understand how you get a 36 team league, but you only play 10 games.
So yeah, you'll play 10 games, 5 home and 5 away, but they'll all be against 10 different teams, I believe. And then the top 8 teams or whatever.
Yeah, top 8
go straight into the last 16, and then from 9th to 24th play a 2-game playoff.
Top 8 went to the last 8, I'd imagine.
No, the top 8 don't go into the last 8.
They don't,
because 9th to 24th go into a 2-game playoff for the other places in the last 16. Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that bit.
Neither did I. I missed that bit as well.
I sent the article, the BT Sport one. I'm literally just going to go check it again.
I mean,
I want to make sure I've not read it wrong.
I'm angry. This has actually made me more angry. This charlatan approach from the elite clubs during lockdown that's put their workers on furlough because apparently they didn't have enough money, and now they're joining this Super League, disconnecting them from local fans.
Justice for Gunnersaurus.
Here it is. Top 8 sides in the league phase will qualify automatically for knockout stage. Teams finishing 9th to 24th place will compete in a 2-legged playoff to secure their path to the last 16. Similar format changes will also be applied to the Europa League. So I'm guessing there's going to be less teams and you'll play 8 games in the league stages.
Yeah, what did they just say, the Europa League, or is it
and
the conference
the Conference League will be 6 games in the league stage.
Tell you what, it is shite, isn't it? Just
it will continue to be earned on merit and domestic performance.
Which is the only good thing.
Yeah.
Left.
And it will remain as a midweek competition. I mean, it's not a good change, but it's a change, and that's what the clubs wanted, and it'll be exciting to see how it pans out, to be honest. And
yeah, it could work out and become a more exciting tournament. We don't know, but it's just
I'm happier about that because it's actually keeping the old competition still alive.
Yeah.
Than I am about some breakaway elitist nonsense that some Americans have thought up and thought, oh yeah, let's do that. But now you're looking at so many repercussions, and it's just.
I think we could talk.
I'm so like I'm just pissed
so
off about it. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk anymore about it.
Nobody likes it, and it shouldn't go ahead. I think that's the key message by almost everyone.
That's the thing. The amount of money it will happen.
I've seen quite a few. There was I think it was Bruno Fernandes and Joao Cancelo posted in their Instagram stories against it today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's where more players that are actually involved in it are going to speak up about it, and the managers. Supposedly Mourinho lost his job because he refused to take training this morning. Whether that's true or not, or where the other rumour is that he just lost it because of bad performances. Could be a mix of both, to be honest, but I think it needs more players and more managers that are involved in it to speak up against it and to try and prevent it.
Well, supposedly Pep Guardiola's against it, Jurgen Klopp's against it. Like, they're two of the biggest managers in club football at the moment.
I've seen that Tuchel was like, he said it's the club's decision, he doesn't really have much to do with it, and he'll just go with whatever, basically.
Yeah,
but he's only just got the job at Chelsea. He's not going to kick up fuck. So,
I mean, I think it was Jock Stein that once said, football is nothing without the fans.
I think
I've seen Leeds players are wearing football without the football is nothing without the fans.
Yep.
T-shirts today.
The history and tradition of the supposed Big Six, It's been built, from the fans within the working class. How are these, real, honest working class fans going to be able to afford to go on these upper echelon trips?
European trips.
Yeah, it's like
Weekend,
I
week out.
understand.
It's a,
Understand.
It's a joke.
Understand. There's a lot of money in football nowadays, but when you're playing in your country, that's fine because you can travel in your country reasonably easily. But when you're talking about traveling all over Europe and you're just you're only playing in that competition because that's the current repercussions is that they will be excluded from other competitions.
Not only all over Europe.
There's not going to be many fans there.
Talks of like it being like having games in America, having games in like the Middle East and stuff like that as well. It's like
it's just not what football's about. That's what
No.
pre-season tours are for, to go and play these games, not some sort of Diddy Super League.
These clubs have done this supposedly because they're in majority of them in so much debt. I know that Barcelona have racked up £1 billion worth of debt. That's their own problem. It's their own. I know that they've been hit hard by the like COVID and stuff like that, and every club has. But for 12 clubs to go away and just like basically say fuck you to everyone else, they might survive, but the rest of the footballing world might.
I think it's all the clubs outside of England are in serious financial difficulties. Man City need no more money. I mean, they've got more than enough.
Arsenal, Stan Kroenke's got multiple teams across multiple different sports. He doesn't need more money.
Liverpool certainly don't need more money. The FSG group do not need more money.
No.
It's greed. It's just plain and simple. It's greed.
Hugely based on greed. I mean, Chelsea definitely do not need more money. Look how much money they just spent in the summer there. And if you're asking me, there's one manager who certainly be interested in it, and that's Brendan Rodgers. He'll be trying to weasel his way into a team.
I seen that he was marked up as one of the front runners for the Tottenham job.
But I think
Eddie Howe.
I think personally that that will be Mourinho's done. I don't think he's back in English football.
Chris, a listener, did say that Mourinho might go to Celtic if the money was right.
I just don't think we can afford it.
I mean, you paid Brendan enough.
The only way Celtic could afford it is if they got into the European Super League.
Yeah. I think Celtic do have enough money for it, as well. They're willing to spend that money.
Yes, it's a lot of money to put into a manager when we know we're going to have to put a fair chunk of money into the rebuild that we're going to have.
Yeah, like Matt says, it's a lot of money to put into a manager who's not. It's not guaranteed to bring you success when we're going to be in a rebuild phase for the next couple of seasons. So
yeah,
would we rather get someone that obviously we still want an established manager, but someone that's less costly.
Have you heard of EBTs? Rumour has it they're pretty good.
Rumour has it they're illegal.
They were legal practice, I believe. No longer legal.
Anyway, let's move on. It is midweek league action, and it's predictions time.
I'm not going to do a recap of last.
Hopefully everyone can do it better this week.
I don't think we did it last week.
Where's Drew?
Did anyone remember doing?
Yes, well done to Drew.
I don't think.
Anyway, well done to Drew on his 32 points.
32. Wow.
Billy, stop saying wow at yourself.
Wow.
Billy was 17.
Wow.
Myself with 12. Matt with 11, and Craig with 6. And he
wow.
flings himself off a cliff and to the bottom of the leaderboard.
Look, I just had to follow here and the free fall down.
So let's go. It is Hamilton v Motherwell, a nail biter. Craig.
Oh, Hamilton. They've always done well against Motherwell this season, actually, and it is a big game for them. So I believe they will continue to do well. And a 2-0 victory for Hamilton. And if you could stop mocking me there, Mr. Dewar, that would be ideal.
Billy, your prediction, please.
This game has got a score draw 1-1 written all over it.
It does.
I want to go back and through the weeks and see how many times Billy put a 1-1.
I'm gonna say 2-1 to Motherwell.
Yeah, Well, I'm now fighting off Drew, and I actually do think Motherwell will win this one. I'm going to go 2-0 Motherwell.
I was just waiting for Matt to copy Dewar from here on out.
Oh, no.
I've also put down a 2-0 Motherwell, which takes us on to Kilmornick v Dundee United.
Well, every game here is a big game in the relegation battle, and I think Dundee United will succeed in this one with a 3-1 victory.
Can you see Dundee United scoring 3 goals after that performance?
Well, I didn't put myself through the performance, Matt, so
No.
I can only judge on recent performances where they've scored lots of goals, Dundee United. They're big goal scorers there.
Bill, please.
1-1.
We're trying to do this quickly to get this man off to his bed. He's quite clearly ill.
1-1.
I reckon it'll be a shock here. Killie 3, Dundee United 1.
Right.
Nonsense.
I don't know how to say this.
Oh, Carol Lafferty, love me, Carol
Fucking
Lafferty.
Dewar. But I do have Ross County to go down. So,
Ross County aren't in this game, Matt.
no, but they are the closest. Well, it's also between the 3 teams to go down. Yeah, I think Kilmarnock are gonna. The Dundee United were really bad, so I'm gonna go 1-0 Kilmarnock.
Sorry, I've put down 2-0 as well to Dundee United.
So Ross County St Mirren. I'll be going for a Ross County victory here, and a 2-1 Ross County.
Sorry, I've just completely zoned out there.
Sorry, I kind of forgot what game we were talking about for a second.
we're talking about
Ross County St Mirren.
Who's at home? Ross County.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. Oh, fuck it, 1-1.
Still 3-1 eaches.
It is 3-1 each. The relegation battle is heating up
I'm
here.
going to say St Mirren 2-1.
I'm gonna copy Bill 1 each.
2-1 Ross County is what I've written down. I've put all mine in the spreadsheet already. That takes us to Edinburgh, and it's Hibs v Livingston.
I think this will be a Hibs victory here, secure their third place pretty much. Just a wee 1-0 though.
I'm going to go for Hibs 2, Livingston 1.
I think I'm going to echo what Bill said 2-1.
I'm gonna go Hibs 2-0.
And I'm going to go Hibs 3-0. Takes us to Perth, and it's St Johnstone v Rangers.
I think I'm going to go for 1 each here.
Really?
Yes.
Alright.
No, this is why he's
I think
bottom of the
Rangers
league.
Rangers will be more focused on the cup game on Saturday
Against St Johnstone again.
Yeah.
2-1 Rangers.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Rangers.
I'm gonna say 3-0 to Rangers.
You know it's got serious when Matt's predicting Rangers to win.
Yep. And I'm going to say 2-1 St Johnstone. They're going to pull off the big one. Like Craig says, Rangers are going to be focused more on the weekend game. This is a more important game. Takes us to dreary Aberdeen, and it's they take on Celtic.
Well, I think Stephen Glass did find some newfound hope in the Aberdeen team at the weekend. They did play it. That was their best performance in a while. And I think they'll continue. I think Celtic will be angry with themselves. They'll be upset, and they'll struggle. It's going to be 2-1 to Aberdeen.
1-1.
Think it'll be an interesting game. 1-0 Celtic, my guess.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think we're bad, but as the meme goes, doesn't matter how bad we are, we can always rely on Aberdeen to be worse. I'm going to agree with you. I think 1-0. As I said, we're out the cup, can focus on the league now.
5-0 Celtic.
5-0 Celtic, that's right.
Um,
1-0 for me.
in the Championship, Inverness v Dundee.
3-1 to Inverness.
Bold.
I'll go for 1-1.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Inverness.
I'm going to say 1-0 to Dundee.
I'm going to say it. My one and only score draw, 1 each. And finally, Morton take on Hearts.
Well, I really hope this is a Hearts victory. A massive Hearts victory, hopefully, to put the dagger in Morton's Hearts. I'm going to go for 5-0 to Hearts.
Well, I'm going to be pessimistic. I'm going to go Hearts 1, Morton 2.
I'm going to say Hearts will just need to do what they have to do. 1-0 Hearts.
I think Hearts will win 2-0.
And I have Morton 2, Hearts 4. And that teases up nicely for that. These games are on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yep.
Championship games are on Tuesday, I believe.
Okay. Well, then we'll be back on Thursday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, Matt, would you like to say cheerio?
Yeah, bye everyone. And as always, we can all cheer me on and beating during the predictions.
Jer, would you like to say au revoir?
Au revoir as always, Team Jura. You know who you are. That one person, you know.
Hashtag Jer's Angels. Billy?
Boo.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah. May the ball roll kindly for the midweek games. Yeah, bye.
And I'm gonna ask Craig to do a little soundbite for the faithful listeners. And can you just say evening for everyone?
Evening.
And now say goodbye.
And also, goodbye. Hopefully we have a little bit more clarity of the whole European Super League situation by the time we come back.
And as we always say here, from me, enjoy your week. Don't get too wound up about the European Super League, and it is goodbye and God bless.